line. Ruto turns to usual strategy. That is the headline they are using. Ruto turning to the usual strategy. Which is this strategy? He has camped in Coast for days after picking Joho to join his cabinet. Same old script. President Ruto is back to his usual strategy of touring regions he perceives will accord him a good reception after doling out political rewards in cabinet appointments. This is a script he has perfected since coming to power in 2022. The political tours are usually disguised as development visits. You can read that story on pages 4 and 5. And actually, he's been there for days. Because I remember it was Mombasa, then Kilifi, then now yesterday it was Taita Taveta. And last night he had a town meeting with the people of the region. And so, they say it's the same old strategy. Yep.
And I see here the same story is actually covered on page 5 because I see here during his tour of Taita Taveta County yesterday, the head of state said he was forming the Government of National Unity, GNU, to unite the polarized country and urged all Kenyans to embrace the idea so that focus turns to development and job creation. And I think some things turned up, in these visits and in the conversations that he was driving. Among them being, of course, 1,000 youth taking jobs abroad weekly. President says 400,000 openings are available. Those interested to get passports in 7 days. And, online tulikuwa na hiyo meme ambayo ilikuwa inasambaa sana. Sasa ati akisema kwamba atawalipia flight. But now it's like, what about the people in the country?
Yeah, exactly. Because only a few can be able to go to those jobs abroad. But also the questions also that were being asked with now the budget cuts. And he's saying that one, you're not. Did he mention that you're not paying for the passports? But also the air tickets. Forget even the passports. For the air tickets, they are paying for the air tickets.
It's here. Let me just read it. On the digital space of the Principal Secretary for Labor, there are currently 400,000 foreign jobs. We urge MPs to prepare the youth in their constituencies to take up their opportunities. The youth will get passports within a week and get free air tickets.
Free air tickets.
Free air tickets.
All right. I think, he's been called the president of so many promises. And so Kenyans, the question they are asking now, the tangible questions, free tickets. So how are we getting this money? From where? So that now it will not just be another story.
Because if at all it's that our taxes, sisi wenye tunaleta huku kwenye hii nchi tukufu. And that money now is being used to fund these people who are going abroad. I mean, these people who are going abroad,
and it's just a few.
It's just a few.
The vast majority are remaining here.
So it's like, I mean, I don't know. But, sometimes I usually tell myself, mtu usikue so excited alafu una make promises kubwa kubwa. Because maintaining that.
We will always come back.
How long? Is it sustainable?
No.
That's my question.
Yes.
Is it sustainable? Because now, akisema hivi, more numbers will start rising. People will be like, ama nitafute kazi majuu. Wacha nitafute kazi. And all of a sudden, you find that a very big percentage, everyone wants to go abroad. But what happens to our own country? We also need these people to work here. So we will just sit back and see.
But we wish them well, those who are getting those opportunities abroad. Still on the front page, I see red flags in Adani JKIA deal, mirror auditors 2018 concerns. Now, questions being asked about the proposal to lease Jomo Kenyatta International Airport to an Indian firm. Mirror concerns the Auditor General flagged about a similar aborted deal involving Kenya Airways in 2018. And you see, when I hear this, and especially about scandals, or should I call them dubious deals, and then again, you get to hear that the Auditor General had raised the red flag. This is not the first case. There are so many reports that the Auditor General has compiled and forwarded to the relevant offices. However, they are overlooked. They are not implemented. But then again, years later, we come to hear that Kenyans lost money. Kenyans are not benefiting from some of the huge infrastructure that we have. And then the question begs, then why do we have an office, the Auditor General's office, if we are not willing to obey or to follow whatever reports and advice that they are offering, because this has been in the news over the last few days, the deal with the Indian firm to lease JKIA, and so many questions were being asked. And the number one question was, for me, forget even leasing leasing is okay because it's good to viable sustainability, as we have said. But then again, where is the place of integrity, the place of transparency, and the place of public participation, so that we are moving in the same direction? Kikiumana hapo mbele, we will also say, by the way, we were also consulted, and so we were part of it. But now, when these things are happening, we are asking ourselves questions. Is it that some people in privileged positions are using it for their own selfish gains at the expense of the nation? And so it's hard conversations that we need to be having. You can read that story on page number 7. Then I see MPs clash with the senators over conflict of interest bill. That is a story you can read on page 6. And they are saying that Senate amendments would have given public officers free pass to bag government contracts. Committee of Equal Representation now to come up with compromise version of the bill. And I see a quote there of Kimani Ichung'wah, the National Assembly Leader of Majority. We must be a house that stands with the people of Kenya who have spoken loudly and told us theft of public funds must end. I like it when these MPs now, when it is convenient for them, they are very quick to invoke the people, that people of Kenya. And so they say they have declined to pass the conflict of interest bill, which it had given public officers the leeway to bag government contracts, which, of course, if you ask me, was not a very good thing. You can read that on page 6. Gen Z wave sparks rush to reserve names at registrar's office. So there is a scramble, apparently. The scramble to cash in on the Gen Z wave moved into top gear as the office of the registrar of political parties has received more than 20 applications for name reservations in preparation for the 2027 polls. Kuna mtu tu asha register. Ameweka jina tu hapa kwa briefcase. You want to use it? Pay me. So there are so many names that are being registered at the registrar of political parties. So we will see what happens. Including Gen Z movement has been registered, Gen Z National Movement, Gen Z People's Alliance, Gen Z People's so many of them. You can read that as well inside the Daily Nation. Quickly, when we go to the pullout this morning, and the pullout in the DN2 Junior Sport Masters of the Abacus, and there you can read that. And also, twin brothers James and Justus 11 have perfected the art of doing calculations using ancient calculator. It's a story you can read on page 2. School break is around the corner. Have you stocked up on storybooks reading list? It's a story you can read on page 2 as well. The business section, Posta opens office space for lease in Cash Drive. Cash-strapped Postal Corporation of Kenya has opened up 79,626 square feet of office space for lease to draw revenue from idle assets. I also see Treasury 650 billion shillings amid interest standoff. You can read that on the business section inside the Daily Nation. And the back page, moment of truth for Kenya. In volleyball, the 10-time African champions Kenya will also face Poland and Japan in their 4th appearance at the event. Captain Triza Atuka leads Malkia Strikers against the 2-time champions Brazil in Group B match from 2 p.m. today. And Shujaa back home as Malkia Strikers launch title campaign. You can read that, the sports pages 30, 31, and 32 inside the Nation.
All right. And moving on to the Standard, the very first top story is Gachagua running out of options. I don't know if Taifa Leo captured because you see Gachagua kuchagua. Chagua akosa ashindwa kuchagua. But anyway, they should call me as, their headliner person or whatever they call them. Anyway, path to 2027, it is not in doubt that Deputy President harbors ambitions to succeed President William Ruto. And if he thought he was close to his target by endearing himself to Mount Kenya, then that target has moved quite a distance as the bromance between the president and Raila blossoms.
Yeah. It's a case of, it's sort of, they say in deja vu. So that is because whatever the former DP went through, now the current DP anakapitia pia. And I remember, and of course, even after the naming of the cabinet, I remember a clip, because, for him, he's very loud. He calls himself the truthful man. So he said, ameweka mitego State House, akiweka mitego hivi, mzee akipita hivi ananaswa ama alafu akasema analala na jicho moja lingine likiwa wazi. Akisikia tu mzee ni Raila. Ametembea State House, anakimbia huko. Au sijui when the cabinet was made, what happened to the traps that he had mounted in State House.
Kama ni methali inasemanga ni mtego wa panya huanasa
ndio hivyo na bas
mchimba kisima
anaingia mwenyewe.
Anyway, I see Julius Kariuki, former Party of National Unity South Rift Regional Coordinator, saying Gachagua is behaving like a bull and silently waits for the hour of slaughter in a slaughterhouse. The Gen Z's protest only showed his political slaughter. Very, very interesting. And I see on page 2, IEBC recruitment gathers steam and why it matters. That's a story on page 2. President William Ruto assented to the IEBC amendment bill on July 9th. And of course, the selection panel list should be gazetted not later than tomorrow. So we await. And I see here a picture of the former IEBC Commissioner Selection Panel Chairman Nelson Makanda, also in the second page. And I see here again IEBC is behind schedule with regards to the process of delimitation of boundaries, which should have been concluded by March this year. So definitely we are following up on the same. But as it says here, the selection panel list should be gazetted not later than tomorrow. So we are wait and see what comes out of that. And page 3, schools have closed. My sister niliona ameweza kufika nyumbani, niliona tu ananitext hapo. Schools close amid anti-state protest. Wamefunga. And Silas Obuhatsa here saying, we are going for the holidays at a very delicate time, and it is the responsibility of parents to ensure that the children are safe, because it's a very crucial time. You don't want those high schoolers who have just begun life.
Then all of a sudden you are exposing them. Even unajua hata sisi hatujafika hao huko juu mateens na nini. But we were also saying some of these things that we are watching at home, we will now be muzzling the children what they are watching. We don't want to inculcate. They're too young. Yes.
So we say wengine waache tu watulie. Wacha hao wakubwa kidogo.
Ina Paulo Jose hapa.
Acha watokee. Page 4, Gachagua likely victim of Raila Ruto dalliance in 2027 elections. And of course, the plates are shifting to the disadvantage of the deputy president. That story is on page 4. But page 5, something interesting here is what the president said. The president admitted that the Gen Z protests were an eye-opener that gave him an opportunity to reorganize his administration to ensure inclusivity for the sake of harmony and development in the country. And Asema, this is a season of uniting and working together irrespective of party affiliation. I need prayers as I reorganize my government for efficient delivery of services to Kenyans.
As a young person, allow me to ask you this. As a young person, he talks of inclusivity, he talks of reconstituting the government. Do you feel that he listened to what the young people are saying?
I think it's really hard to tell at this point because I kind of think that there's a lot of treading on careful ground, like more of let me give them enough to show that I listened, but not enough to really bring the change that they are looking for. So we can have these instances being thrown. Because for me, even what I feel about saying that wale wana work abroad, I'm going to give them maybe free air tickets, that is like winning that group of people. Because wherever they will be like, manze, hii kitu ilikuwa imeni stress, sikujua kama nitapata. So there's also that. But at the end of the day, my question is it good for the bigger nation? Is it good for each and every
The reason why I'm asking this is because we have been told, and statistics have shown that in Kenya, 70% of the population is of young people.
That's true.
So for me, all policies should be geared towards addressing that huge, in terms of education, funding of the education, in terms of matters to do with internship, in terms of matters to do with creating opportunities for the young people in Kenya. You get? Now, in terms of the government itself, look at the cabinet. Yes, it could be having the face of Kenya, but in terms of the young people, and by young I don't mean a 25-year-old, there are other young people, and you see the young people also are very clear. It's not like we want these positions. We don't want to be CSs, but we want people who have our interest at heart, and they will create a conducive environment for us. They were saying, sisi hatutaki kwenda majuu, hatutaki kwenda mayolo, tunataka build our own nation
where we are at. So I think even as we wait and watch,
but he says we continue praying for him.
We continue praying for him because he needs all the wisdom. But at the end of it all, he has to make the decision that it's either I do what is right and what is good for this nation, or he will sabotage himself, even in the position and the power that he has been given.
More wisdom, Mr. President. We pray for you.
But anyway, let me just quickly rush to the sports page. Hapa nyuma, Paris 2024 Malkia strikers keen to punch above their weight. But I think even about sports, I won't even get into it so much. I would just love to touch on something that was trending. We had a bit of religious.
I don't know why I saw that coming from you. I was waiting for that.
Anyway, there's so many fights. I was saying with my husband just yesterday, wow, I can say husband.
My husband.
Beautiful. But anyway, as I was saying, we were talking about how we Christians are responding to this. We also need to be very careful because the Bible is not calling us to judge anyone. We can call out, but then how we do it, are we doing it in love? Or are we now on this side of condemning them? So we are not any better because either way, we are still not doing what God has called us to do. So there's the correction with love, and then there's the hatred. Some people hate them. Some people kill. Some people will throw insults. They will hurl insults, thinking that they are the perfect.
We were discussing this on the other side as I was coming to set, and we were discussing, and one of the presenters was telling me this morning, if I was God, that place would have been Sodom and Gomorrah at that particular moment. But then I told her, thank goodness you are not God. Our God is merciful.
He's full of mercy. And he gives people time.
Then another one told me, you wait. Whatever is loading, you wait. It will hit them.
Strike will be. Indeed, God is not mocked. But again, we also have to remember that God has a purpose for everybody. And even those people you saw there, imagine God anawapenda.
May God minister to them.
If God wants to turn them to become better people and use them to evangelize, God can do it.
Imagine.
But again, we
but
really
also that was a lesson to us as well. As believers, are people running away from this Christianity because of you? Are you drawing men to God?
Or away?
Or away from God?
Love is everything.
Yes, it is.
If we are loving them and not allowing or, feeding and agreeing to whatever it is that they're doing, calling them out, but with love, remembering to say you are actually forgiven. All you need to do is come to Jesus, not telling them you are doomed. There's no hope for you. No, God can. There's no one that is outside the saving grace of God. So let us be reminded of that, even as we are keyboarding and writing those comments.
Indeed. Right. So that's it from the papers this morning. Grab your favorite copy. Let's continue to pray for this, our nation, the leadership from the top to the bottom, all of us, so that the nation can prosper. Right about now, paving way for the video of the day, this break, and then we usher in the second hour of the show. Stick around for that.
najikaza nifike kule, bado nasimama, bado naendelea, bado najikaza nifike kule. Bila neema na rehema zako ningekuwa wapi mimi? Bila upendo na fadhili zako maisha yangu yangekuwa bure. Kwa wema wako kanisimamisha, na imani yangu ukaiweka salama. Kama si wewe, mwamba wa wokovu wangu, nisingeweza, ningeangamia. Bado nasimama, bado naendelea, bado najikaza nifike kule, bado nasimama, bado naendelea, bado najikaza nifike kule. Nainua macho yangu kwako wewe, Baba yangu, msaada wangu utatoka wapi? Msaada wangu katika Bwana. Hasinzi anilindaye, haniachi mimi niteleze, anipa nguvu na uwezo wake, ili mimi nifike kule, nifike kule. Bado nasimama, bado naendelea, bado najikaza nifike kule, bado nasimama. Beautiful song right there. And Gigi, you're the one who suggested this song.
Bado nasimama. I don't know why that song came to mind in the morning. Yeah. Yeah, it's by Kambua, a beautiful song as well. And also an encouragement to us that Bado nasimama, despite the hardships, and of course you can see from the video itself, people being thrown out of their houses and all. I believe it's because of rent, sicknesses as well, rifts within family, within relationships as well. But she here comes and proclaims that Bado nasimama, you know, and it's a profound declaration that in the midst of the chaos, in the midst of the uncertainty, of the pain as well, bado nitasimama ndani ya Yesu. And that is an assurance that when you are in God, despite all these hardships, that you are not fighting alone. That's the beauty. You know, the mistake we make is that when you get saved, you think that it will be seamless, but that is not the case. The good thing is that when you face those challenges, when you face those situations, you know that you are not alone. You know that there is one who is fighting for you, and you will emerge victorious. So keep standing because the Lord is on your side.
Absolutely.
Amen.
Beautiful song. Bado nasimama, bado naendelea. And that was our video of the day. And it's time for us to usher in today's convo, which is going to be the very first of our financial fitness segment. Tumeona watu pesa inawasumbua sana. Very much. You know, we really need to understand financial fitness. Because, you know, Gigi, even when we complain about taxes, we also have a lot of wastage going on of money.
You know, we accuse the government of wastage. But wastage ni sisi tunaanza
even in our homes. We waste.
Live within your means.
We don't live within our means.
No, we don't.
Ukienda pale majoints za sherehe zimejaa hivi. Pesa zinamwagwa kila.
You know, at some point I thought that's why the government decided to increase the taxes. Because if you visit those entertainment joints, from the parking, you know,
you can know
the parking. People
have money.
Yeah, so I believe the president once, or the CSs, they passed by, they saw, hii pesa yote. if we can introduce motor vehicle tax, 2.5%.
Hii pesa ni mingi.
Hii pesa ni mingi bana.
Jamani. But financial fitness, this is going to be an amazing segment that is going to be talking about, savings, investment, all these things about money, freedom. What is financial freedom even? Like, what does that even mean? Some people will tell you the interview we did last Friday, alisema pesa haitafutwi.
Inakukujia tu.
Haworo,
so nikae tu hivi ikuje tu
as you are doing your purpose, will find you.
It will find you.
Yeah, it will
si kukaa tu.
Jamani, wengine wanasema money has a language, you know, the way you treat it. How, I tell you, that's why we want financial fitness, because this is going to be a segment coming to you each and every single Monday, and today is going to be a very fast episode, and the conversation, or rather the topic, is money management. So this is going to be very interesting. We have an amazing coach, Elizabeth, who is going to come through, and I'm sure that we are going to benefit from this conversation. So prepare your notes. Wale ambao mnajua pesa haki imewakaranga, pesa imewachanganya, don't worry. Every Monday is going to be geared towards financial fitness. So let's take a break. We will be coming back with our amazing guests.